Breathwork changed my life, now I'll help you change yours. In 2013, my world was turned upside down when my partner was murdered. I was thrown into grief, a place I never expected to be. The last decade plus has been a journey of healing, learning what works and what doesn't. Also how to rebuild from the darkest of places. I founded Vidya Breathwork, a method designed to make healing simple and accessible, and now I train facilitators to share this transformative practice globally. Welcome to The Dark Side with Verity, the podcast where we get real about transformation, growth, and stepping into your strength. Let's dive in. All right, let's take a breath. We're here again. Big inhale through the nose and a long, gentle exhale. Today we're going to touch on staying grounded. The more you practice this, the more you become a grounded human, knowing and trusting yourself, the easier so many situations are for you. I know for me, I used to always want to discuss things at the time to find a solution so that everybody felt good all the time. Great. That was always my stuff. And so being able to have a conversation and remain grounded throughout the process is really important. And I look back and a lot of my lessons of life are out of sheer need in heated discussions or situations where I didn't feel safe and was forced to not speak, because if I did, I felt that I would be in danger, basically. So my body almost went into this space of being in freeze. And as horrible as that is in those scenarios, it taught me a lot. Like, I don't need to say everything that I'm thinking. I do not need to get my point across. Sometimes people just need to be heard, and their way of expressing their needs has nothing to do with you or I. It is their stuff. And sometimes to get yourself out of a scenario or a situation, you just zip it. And it's a coping mechanism, maybe it's to start with. But then I realized how powerful it is. I've never been a huge speaker in conversations. If I'm around people that are more dominant, that speak louder, I'll just let them speak, because I don't feel it's necessary for me to fight to have a conversation. And if these conversations continue, over time, I've just realized that they're people that I generally am not going to spend as much time with, because if I feel like I'm going back inwards, they're probably not bringing out the best in me. And so it's not to say that any human is better, worse. There's just sometimes that people's energy aligns differently. And you'll know, like we spoke about with energy, when you go to hang out with someone, or maybe when you leave hanging out with someone, do you feel like you're lit up? Like you can go back home, you can go to the office, finish all of your work and smash it all out, and you feel amazing because you've spent time with a human that has genuinely given their time and energy, have seen you, have heard you, and you've given them the same. And so it's a beautiful energy exchange. Those are the friends and partners and relationships in personal life and in business that you want to continue to grow. The same is with business when you're working with clients. We know when you're in this field or any service business, you don't have to work with every client. Because imagine your day is filled with clients that drain you, draw all of your energy and suck it all away from you, especially if you don't know how to protect your boundaries. Then you're just going to end up hating your job, your life, being mean to all of your friends and family that you love. That is not a world that we want to live in. So you get to be discerning when you're working with clients. It's why sales becomes easy when you get to pick and choose. You don't need to tell your clients when you're doing this, but when people are applying to work with you or have a conversation with you, you can pick up on their energy, because not everybody is designed to work with you. And that is okay for your benefit and for theirs. Because if you have a client where every day you're like, oh God, they need me to do this, I need to finish up working with this, or they've messaged and your body just goes like, ugh. That's not the energy you want to bring into your business and around your other clients that you absolutely love and adore. So when the sales or the pitch, when you're working with people or sharing your services, you need to remain grounded in who you are. Because sometimes you can get excited and it's nice and fun to work with people, or maybe the opposite end of the scale is you think that you need to build up your bank account because you have a holiday coming up, or whatever it is that your launch or sales process is at the time. It's why you need to stay grounded. And this all comes back to learning your nervous system, because everybody's sense of feeling grounded is going to be different. Like, you know what your safety is, you know what your calm is, and you know when you're able to make decisions with clear boundaries that are going to serve you the best when you are grounded. And so what are your grounding practices that help you, that serve you? For me, it's flexible now. I'm proud to say it is flexible. For me, I still go back to that, just having one deep breath. I make sure my days are breath work, movement, exercise. Generally, I love to do something outside, so whether it's a walk. Something that's near and dear to my heart is the ocean. So if I can see the ocean every day, it's a happy girl. This whole process of understanding what works for you is sort of like having a list or a toolkit or a backpack with all of the things that you love to do or you know that make you feel better, and pick and choose from that. Because if you have that rigid list, that to-do list that's going to make you feel better, it ends up having the opposite effect. And it's that strength, it's the flexibility that will allow you to remain a grounded human. And you have to know what your baselines are. So when you're doing the Vidya daily practice, this gives you an idea of being really calm with the belly breath, but also putting you into that controlled stress. And a controlled stress is different, right, than a stress that you didn't plan for. But we want to train the body that it's going to be okay in both scenarios. So for example, when I'm running my day retreats and we have ice baths, I've done a lot of prep work with people prior to putting them in an ice bath. The ice baths that I have are very cold. They sit between like 0 and 4 degrees normally. Sometimes with added Epsom salts to make it spicy. The main aim for this is they've built up enough recognition in their body, and we've started to open up, we've started to peel back some of the layers, that by the time they get in there, they are ready to release what's been sitting on the surface, and they're also ready to breathe. They know how to breathe, and they can get themselves into a grounded space as quickly as possible. Ice baths are the quickest way to teach you how to breathe. Because if you do not regulate in that moment, you're doing more damage, really. I mean, you could sit in an ice bath, be in absolute hell and pain and like not really breathe properly. And if you had a really determined mind, you could make it through. Is that going to be beneficial for you? No, not really. Just so you've got grit. However, when I'm teaching people the ice bath, it is the process before you hop in. We drop into our belly breath to start with, so that you know that's what your body needs to do. We're training it already. Then we go into a breath that's powerful, the conscious connected breath, a couple of those, because if you don't, your body's naturally probably going to do it anyway. If you're unprepared, you're probably going to have a few hyperventilations. Like but if you're consciously choosing to breathe, a couple of those, then drop into your nasal breathing again. Your body is already into the practice of taking really deep breaths, knowing how to calm your body back into a grounded space. There's so many more benefits than the ones you already know from an ice bath, because teaching yourself how to remain grounded in a stressful situation is huge. There are some people that just do not cope under stressful situations. Their body will dissociate, they will remove themselves, they will go into a panic. Nothing is wrong. It's just that we can train our body to show up differently in those moments. And this is where having your toolkit, keep talking about toolkits, your tools that are going to help you. And the more you have that are really easy and simple to do, the easier this is going to feel and become for you. I guess I'm so passionate again because if I had these tools prior, maybe I wouldn't have chosen coping mechanisms like getting rid of all of my food or drinking to blackout or taking drugs, like whatever it was or at the time. If I'd known all this, maybe I would have made healthier choices or maybe I wouldn't have. Either way, my life path has made me research a lot to figure out why. Like I wanted to know why I chose that at that time. Because they're all choices, whether they're conscious at the time or not. And so thinking of ways to get yourself grounded. And again, it's always that like looking in on all the stuff that you do with compassion. Because if you knew better, you would have done better at the time. We're all good humans, right? It's just figuring out why that little pathway became your choice then. It's why, Miss Preacher, it's why if we learn to breathe, all of these pieces will start to unfold for you. Daily breath will clear your body every single day. And then doing a deep breathe every now and then, it's where you get to get into your subconscious. And this is all your creativity. This is all your reasons why. This is all your stored memories that you've popped inside your body and kept them there because they were too much to deal with or you just didn't want to think about them. So it can all be unlocked. The word of the years. But this is the process of the body. It's retraining. It's teaching you that in safety, you can release. So you being grounded, start to determine what that means for you. Like I've shared with you lots of my unhealthy tools in the hope that maybe you've done them too. Not maybe you've done them. Maybe you've recognized some similarities and you realize that there's a different way of doing it and a different way of coming to a really deep understanding of why. We don't need to berate ourselves. We definitely don't need other people to shame us. Like there is absolutely no way that you can shame somebody into changing. And especially yourself. Think about this. This is your thing, shame, and you've hidden it deep down in the depths of your shadows. You don't want to tell anyone. You definitely don't want anyone to know this, or even if you speak it, even if you think it, it makes you feel sick. As soon as you just lift the light off, share it with someone, release it in a breathwork session, like it has no power left. So when people try to shame you or hold things over you, the quicker you get on top of this for yourself, nobody has anything over you. You're okay with being the exact human you are. You've accepted all parts of yourself. You've accepted all the things you've done in life. Shameful, guilt, hilarious, not hilarious, whatever they are, bring them all to light. It's why this. Like I've had people in my past share things that I had told them in confidence and was really mortified and embarrassed that I'd done these things. They took it upon themselves to share it with the world. I felt sick, like horrendously sick. But over time, they've dissipated. I forgave myself. I forgave the people at the time. I'll share more of these. Slowly, they'll all come out. Because at the end of the day, people do shit things. Everybody has, and if someone walks around life saying that they haven't, I call bullshit. Because it's what makes us more human. Like, what is your story, your life story? If you were to write a book of all the things you've been through, don't you want your book to be exciting? Don't you have the depths that aren't so fun? But then you have like your hero's journey, your story where you've come out on top, you felt amazing. And guess what? It's probably going to go down and up a few more times. But isn't that what the journey of life is. It's writing a story or creating memories. Let's hope that once you go through all of that, you start to create memories that you are excited to tell. Ones that are fun, ones that you want to share. And there's people that you meet in your life. We met a guy when we were traveling through Mexico. I'd made a decision that I wanted to catch a chicken bus. And for some reason or other, it just hadn't happened. We met there was 3 of us traveling, and we met these 2 other guys, and they drove us to the next town, which we were staying at, to go surfing in Nicaragua. And on the way home, I'm like, right, this is the time to catch a chicken bus. We were waiting. I'm like, oh, what if we just hitchhike? As I say these, I'm like, whoever would come traveling with me? Let's just hitchhike. So I'm like, yep, hitchhike. This guy pulls over, this older guy, and I was like, oh, this is our first time hitchhiking. So this is my first time picking up hitchhikers. So he's driven us, a girlfriend and I and another guy friend, and he's taken us. We're driving back to Nicaragua, and as we're driving, he's like, oh, I could take you to this place where I go to write my book. And it turns out he's a famous author, and he took us to this cabin where he stays to do all his writing. So we ended up having a few drinks with him there, and his stories, like, these are the people, these are the moments when you just say yes, that you find out pieces of people's lives that will change the course of your life. So more of those yes moments. So he'd grown up there, he'd had a family, he had a sister who was an interior designer, so I got offered a job to go move over there. But all of the things that he told us were just like beautiful stories. And when you're traveling and you're younger, like, you just think partying, drinking. But this was like a really beautiful moment in my travels, and I remember it so much because it wasn't only like that. As soon as we got to the town, back to the town, he took us all out for dinner, and then the next few days took us touring around. We went and climbed all these volcanoes, met all these like beautiful little kids. You get to see the different side of a town, country, from a local's perspective, and that's always my favorite. You'll notice in any of my travel photos, if I'm getting the photo, I hate waiting in lines, I hate being in crowded places. And so our last trip to India, my friend and I ran through every tourist spot to get our photos. Because people would stop us, people would want to have photos with us, and it was so crowded and so overwhelming. I'm like, let's just get there. Had our little photo shoot, right, let's go next one. The places that we enjoyed the most were ones that were like hours away in temples that no one had known about. 3 hours away, this temple was still the most beautiful temple that I've ever been to. And it was quiet, so you could actually sit and meditate in these temples. Beautiful. Another surprise, a safari to see leopards. Like, who does that in India? So it pays to say yes as long as you're safe. Because you get to explore places with new eyes, places that people would not normally go. And this all comes back to trusting yourself and being grounded in you. Like, don't let the world make you think that it's so unsafe. Yes, be safe, but still be true to you. Be adventurous, be fun, be grounded in you, and trust your instincts. Just keep building on that trust, and you'll get to have really fun experiences when you travel. Not sure I would tell my future kids this. Enjoy, take care, travel safe, have fun. And figure out your grounded moments. How to ground yourself down where everything feels unimaginable to be calm. Like, make that your challenge. Breathe into your belly, close your eyes, do whatever you need to do in those moments to be able to just drop in and be. Thanks. That's a wrap for this episode of The Dark Side with Verity. I trust it's given you clarity, sparked awareness, and allowed you to breathe a little deeper, plus a little takeaway to integrate into your life. If this has resonated, I'd love you to leave a 5-star review, of course. More importantly, I would love you to share this with someone who's on their journey and needs a little bit of assistance. Come hang out with me over at Instagram at VerityJoCoonan or The Dark Side with Verity, or start to explore Vidya breathwork at verityjocoonan.co. Until next time, breathe deep, trust the process, and keep expanding. Much love.